Gotti was entwined with Diddy. He's one of Diddy boys. He's big time in that ring with Bad Boys. Isn't it ironic that this month and next month they're gonna start releasing names? Who else was involved with Diddy?
There's new allegations against Sean P. Diddy Combs. A Texas attorney says he now represents, get this, 120 alleged victims, male and female.
Irv, that's not a flex. Bragging about Lucy Grange hooking you up don't look so good right now, do it? That ain't aging all that well. Because everybody know the loose shit has been Diddy and Deshaun Carter. They sugar bait.
In a shocking courtroom twist, Sean Diddy Combs' attorney abruptly fled as the late music mogul Irv Gotti delivered explosive testimony before the judge. The atmosphere grew tense as Gotti, renowned for his deep ties to the hip-hop world and his controversial past, took the stand, triggering a reaction from Diddy's legal team that has left many speculating about the hidden truths behind the courtroom walls.
I love Puff. Yeah. He can do drugs. Oh yeah. I know he done hit me with a Jeffrey one time. That Jeffrey. You have to take a hit of this Jeffrey. It'll calm you down. Yeah, I smoked with Puff. I was like, so soft. We were seeing things.
I just got a business idea. Chocolate eggplant.
You don't think this nigga hit us with Jeffrey?
I swear to God.
It's all good, Papa. You can hit me with the Jeffrey.
I spent the evening with him. I was with him until about 1 o'clock. His spirits are good. He's confident. He is dealing with this head on, the way he's dealt with every challenge in his life. And he's not guilty. He's innocent of these charges. We know what the charges are going to be without seeing the indictment. It's going to be racketeering. It's going to be trafficking. It's going to be things along those lines. This is what we've been expecting since the searches in March. He, to his great credit, he voluntarily came to New York. Not a lot of defendants do that. He came to New York to basically engage the court system and start the case, and it'll start to.
Irv Gotti's testimony was highly anticipated, given his influential role in the music industry and close ties to major artists, including Diddy. On the stand, Gotti revealed critical details that carried serious weight, potentially shifting the trajectory of Diddy's defense and raising new questions about the case's deeper implications.
And there's ways to manipulate numbers in hip hop or in music, period. And they know how to do
numbers. It's all
no, but they know how to manipulate it. Yeah. Meaning, they know how to buy records. They know how to do things like that to get your numbers up high. And they did it with Music Soul Child. They'll never sit there and say it. But the facts is the facts, so it's all good.
And it's,
You know, everybody's forgetting how he sat there and slut-shamed the shit out of Ashanti. And then talked about that music and then bragged about how he sold all of their publishing rights to that weirdo vampire, Lucian Grange. And he said there, I don't have to worry about BET because, you know, see, I know people like Lucian Grange. So did Diddy. Did he f you too? Like, whoa. It's just...
Man. Straight off the back like that, yeah. Throwing around some big names there. Whoa, Jaguar right. These are not my words. I am not telling you the story.
Hov is Hov. Don't get it. Hov don't need nobody. Once Hov got on, he was the guy I would be like, he didn't need nobody. Like X needed people around him to help him. Ja needed me to help him. Hov, once he got on, he didn't need nobody. He could do it all himself. He'll pick the beats, talk with the producer. He didn't need no.
V. Gotti, born Irving Lorenzo, was a towering force in the music industry. Raised in Hollis, Queens, he faced a tough upbringing but channeled his struggles into a relentless passion for hip-hop. Through sheer determination, he mastered DJing and music production, paving the way for his rise to influence.
I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. That's how we on it.
But that line, God, enormous, live dormant, this how we on it. Living the American dream with a vengeance. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
And you gotta understand the reason, right? Why does that guy think like that? Right? How do you arrive at that point? You gotta also look at that. You have to look at that. You gotta look at the environments and the places we live in, and how things are set up, and how things are structured, and how we're always at the totem pole, even from our schools, our roads to.
I know that he's into saving the youth as well, and I've seen him with his children playing board games and enjoying himself and just enjoying life. And he's one of us. He went up against the federal government and he beat them. He's one of them that could say he beat them, and it ain't a handful that could say that they beat the federal government.
V. Gotti, the influential music executive and co-founder of Records, passed away on February 5th, 2025, at the age of 54. His family announced his passing on social media, sending shockwaves through the hip-hop community. While the official cause has not been confirmed, reports suggest he had been battling heart-related issues and strokes in the years leading up to his death.
Gotti, a huge music producer, died at the age of 54 this week. He worked with some of the biggest people in the music industry like DMX, Ja Rule, Ashanti. He, I guess, passed away on Wednesday in New York City. It's at this time, while I'm recording, not really sure how he died. We do know that he had a lot of medical issues that he suffered with over the years, had a lot of health problems. He suffered a stroke last year. He was walking with the aid of a cane. He had been very open with his struggles with diabetes. He wasn't consistent with taking his insulin. He admitted to that, and that his doctors had encouraged him to change his diet, which he also struggled to do. So we'll see if that played a factor in his death. But a lot of people obviously speaking out about it. He also worked with Jay-Z on his debut album. I mean, just a really big deal in the music industry. You probably know his name. Vanessa Carlton worked with him to produce her big album back in 2007, Heroes and Thieves. So everyone kind of knew who he was. He had left a lasting impression on the music industry, but he passed away at...
New this morning, Irv Gotti, a Queens native and founder of Records, has died. The mogul's real name, Irving Lorenzo Jr. His cause of death has not been released, but the music mogul did suffer a stroke last year and had long battled diabetes-related issues. Irv Gotti was a noted record executive, music producer, and entrepreneur. He rose to fame in the late 90s and early 2000s while working with artists including Ja Rule, Ashanti, and DMX. Irv Gotti was 54.
Tributes pouring in today for a hip-hop pioneer. Irv Gotti, the founder of Murder Inc. Records, has died. He's just 54 years old.
Gotti, whose real name is Irving Lorenzo, founded the label with his brother in the late 1990s. Over the years, he worked with top artists and helped launch the careers of many, including Ja Rule and Ashanti. His family says he died yesterday, surrounded by family and friends.
Gotti was a strong advocate for protecting young artists from the dangers of streaming exploitation. Alongside industry veterans like Suge Knight, Jake Prince, and Dame Dash, he championed the creation of an artist union aimed at securing fair compensation and improved working conditions for musicians in the digital era.
Suge Knight was trying to meet up with Dame Dash, Irv Gotti, Jake Prince. They was trying to get a distribution company.
It wasn't a distribution. It was a union. Honestly, it was all Suge's idea. It was all his plan, and it was a hell of a plan, man. He was like, yo, we get all the artists together. And he wasn't just talking about hip-hop, every artist in general. And he was like, okay, say you got $1 million budget. So instead of $1 million, you'd have $1.1 million with $100,000 going to the union. Now, this will all get recouped back to the artist. It'll go towards an annuity. It'll go towards a retirement fund. And it was easy metrics because instead of you recouping $1 million, you recoup $1.1 million.
Someone left that meeting talking about our movement. Unfortunately, the feds hit all of us at the same time, which I don't think was a coincidence.
Jay went and told. He went and told. He blew the spot up. Feds came in and started hitting niggas with cases because they all said, yo, we gonna put our money together. Now think about it now, how everybody get robbed off the streaming.
So I was watching A&E, and it was Gangster Week. And lo and behold, today's episode is on Albert Anastasia and the notorious Murder Incorporated. Murder Inc. came across the TV, riddled with bullets. I start screaming, that's it. I'm going crazy in my house. Like, just imagine me by myself in my boxes and a t-shirt. That's it. Because at the time, the two biggest labels was Death Row and Bad Boy. Death Row had, the Death Row, and they used to call their artists Death Row Inmate.
Gene Deal, a former bodyguard for Diddy, alleged that Combs tipped off authorities about plans by Suge Knight, V. Gotti, and J.H. Prince to launch a music distribution company and potentially a union. This revelation has sparked intense controversy and speculation within the music industry, raising questions about hidden power struggles behind the scenes.
Well, I actually thought it was either a distribution or some kind of publishing company, but I heard Irv Gotti speak on this. But way back then, I was told it was a distribution of some kind of publishing company that he was doing. But I guess Irv would know more than I knew. But they were talking about Suge Knight was trying to form a union. That's what he was saying. But back in the day, people thought it was a distribution where blacks would distribute their own music distribute their own music and stuff like that. So that's what we thought it was back then. But it was truth behind the fact that it was Jay-Z and Puff that went to those folks and let them know what Suge Knight was trying to do. And so that's how all those other labels got raided. Rap-A-Lot, Rockefeller got on the list. And Rockefeller got on the list because of the fact that Dame and Jaden was breaking up anyway.
It's important to emphasize that these claims remain unconfirmed by Diddy or the individuals involved. However, the allegations have undeniably added another layer of intrigue and tension to the already complex dynamics within the hip-hop community.
They got out, they got back, and the feds got on it because that's what those people are going to do. Those people are not going to give up their stuff like that, man. They've been holding rap hostage for years. Rap has been controlled by the you're not gonna say this, and you're gonna beat this out. But it's been the record labels that were.
Speculation over Diddy's potential involvement in V. Gotti's tragic passing has ignited intense debate among industry insiders. Many believe that Gotti's outspoken criticism of Diddy, especially his accusations of shady business dealings, escalated tensions between them. Never one to hold back, Gotti frequently voiced his grievances in interviews and on social media. In one particularly memorable interview, he openly condemned Diddy's business tactics, accusing him of exploiting artists and engaging in unethical deals.
2025, Irv Gotti have several strokes and his family going to the hospital to say goodbye. It's not adding up to me. It seems like everybody that come around Diddy dies. Now Diddy in jail. So Diddy didn't do this. So who out here working with Diddy? Who else got something to lose? Maybe Oprah, Tyler Perry, Jay-Z, Clyde Davis, Lucian Granger, Usher.
Did he not? I know he has the money. Why is everybody that don't need Ozempic actually have it and the people that actually need Ozempic are not getting it? Is there some type of situation? Also, you had money access for private chefs, private cooks, and somebody you don't even need to do. You can hire somebody full time to go around with you and give you the insulin when you needed it. Moreover, there are a lot of studies, not even studies, proof, overseas and even in America, I think even Harvard University Medical School acknowledged that type 2 diabetes can now be cured with diet and exercise. Now, I don't know if he was so far gone that it couldn't help, but he was definitely in the situation that his money could afford to make sure he lived the healthiest lifestyle.
Mark Agnifilo, the high-profile attorney representing Diddy, has abruptly withdrawn from the case amid the explosive allegations made by V. Gotti. Known for handling controversial cases, most notably defending Keith Raniere of NXIVM, Agnifilo was a key figure in Diddy's legal strategy. He and Diddy had staunchly refused any plea deal, maintaining Diddy's innocence and vowing to fight the charges in court. Despite mounting media scrutiny and serious allegations of racketeering and trafficking, Agnifilo's sudden exit has only intensified speculation surrounding the case.
His legal team requests that Diddy be transferred to a different jail in New Jersey. And the point person behind that request and Diddy's team is defense attorney Mark Agnifilo. If that name is familiar to you, it may be because you've heard it before. He's repped several high-profile defendants, like the NXIVM cult leader Keith Raniere and Roger Ng, a former Goldman Sachs banker convicted of bribery and money laundering. We'll get to those cases in a second, but first, a bit about Agnifilo's history. He received a bachelor's degree in philosophy and political science from Connecticut College in 1986. In 1990, he received his Juris degree from Brooklyn Law School, and while there, even received the American Jurisprudence Award for Outstanding Performance in Trial Advocacy.
Among the most disturbing allegations are claims of severe misconduct linked to Diddy. One woman alleges that in 2004, as a 19-year-old college student, she was assaulted by him. In another shocking case, a young boy claims he was intoxicated and coerced into inappropriate acts at just 10 years old. These accounts contribute to a grim narrative of the so-called party culture allegedly cultivated by Diddy, described by attorney Douglas Wigdor as an environment where anything goes.
Kennedy claims the footage was playing on a continuous loop in Diddy's Tokyo hotel room during the 2000 interaction, and further alleged that the rapper was on the phone with J-Lo, whom he was dating at the time. Rachel said on the Daily Mail's The Trial of Diddy podcast that she found the entire situation quite odd, and further described it as creepy and disrespectful. Rachel and her two friends had been invited to Diddy's room for a party after meeting him at a topless club in Japan. She and her friends were expecting to just attend the party, but Diddy was alone in his room when they arrived. She claims they then engaged in a consensual sexual encounter. Jennifer Lopez has yet to comment on Diddy's legal trouble.
You freeze. You're in shock. I mean, children aren't supposed to handle that sort of stuff. I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be pedophilia.
Nobody talks about pedophilia.
It's the big secret.
And it's widespread?
Oh yeah. I was surrounded by that.
The staggering scope of allegations against Diddy has put his legal team on the defensive as they fight to contain what they call a reckless media circus. However, the sheer number of claims suggests a broader pattern of alleged misconduct, one that attorney Tony Busby has effectively highlighted in past high-profile cases, including those against NFL quarterback Deshaun Watson and the Boy Scouts of America.
So by now you may have heard the news that Jay-Z has been named in a recent Diddy lawsuit from Tony Busby. In that lawsuit, it's accusing Jay-Z of being one of the male celebrities that R-ed a 13-year-old girl. Well, Jay-Z responded, and we did a separate video talking about that, so check out that video. Well, now Tony Busby is responding and basically saying that Jay-Z was the high-profile celebrity that was recently suing him. So Tony Busby says this in a statement: regarding the Jay-Z case and his efforts to silence my clients, Mr. Carter previously denied being the one who sued me and my firm. He filed this frivolous case using a pseudonym. What he fails to say in his recent statement is my firm sent his lawyer a demand letter on behalf of an alleged victim, and that victim never demanded a penny from him. Instead, she only sought a confidential mediation. What would be the result of that mediation? Since I sent the letter on her behalf, Mr. Carter has not only sued me, but has tried to bully and harass me and this plaintiff. His conduct has had the opposite impact. She is emboldened. I'm very proud of her resolve. As far as allegations in the complaint filed, we will let the filing speak for itself and will litigate the facts in court, not in the media.
We intend to name people in these lawsuits. We're not going to do it in interviews. We're not going to do it, without doing our due diligence, because obviously, these types of allegations are very hurtful to people if they're not true, and very hurtful, frankly, if they are true. But if they're true, you shouldn't have been in the room and you shouldn't have been participating. So I anticipate that we're going to start filing lawsuits, and it may not be big names at first, but we have a long list of names, and you might imagine in situations like this, that when a victim tells us that this person was in the room or this person participated, we want to do as much due diligence as humanly possible before we file that case, because in the United States, in almost every state, public filings are in fact public, and when you name somebody in a lawsuit, the press is going to pick it up, and we're aware of that. So we're going to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's, and I expect that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
Arashi attorney Tony Busby says he's been contacted by 3,285 people who say they are victims of Sean Combs. And after some vetting, Busby says he now represents 120 of those people who will file civil lawsuits against P. Diddy. And that number includes 60 men and 60 women, and also include 25 children. Now, I will tell you, some of these accusations are pretty disturbing.
There's new allegations against Sean P. Diddy Combs. A Texas attorney says he now represents, get this, 120 alleged victims, male and female, adults and children, whose allegations span more than 30 years. The accounts of the alleged victims have not been fully vetted, but their claims involve drug-fueled assaults similar to what the feds described in their criminal indictment of the music mogul. Diddy's currently sitting in a federal jail awaiting trial on trafficking.
Where, first we have Tony Busby, who was sued for extortion. Then we have Busby suing back, also claiming harassment. And then we figure out that Jay-Z is somehow involved in all of this in a way, allegedly. What do you make of that?
Well, this is really taking quite a turn. So what you have here now are 3 additional parties in what was really a prosecution of Sean Combs and a bunch of civil cases against Sean Combs. So now you add to that Tony Busby, who's a very prominent lawyer. He's been down this road before. He was down this road with Deshaun Watson, so he's used to this kind of case, and by all appearances, he's good at it.